What's up, guys? Today let's take a look at Heatboys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo. This is the third officially licensed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures by the Chinese company. The first one is Joy Toys. That one's 118, and from I was told it is more like a, how do you call it, cartoon style. And then we got Lin Ji Hun, which is about 110, 112, and it is, again, from I was told, more like a Bayverse turtle, okay? And the Heatboys one is 1.9, over 20 centimeters, and it is, again, very different style. And so without further ado, let's take a look at the figure. First, let's take a look at the proportion. This is definitely a very humanoid looking turtle, okay? Especially when you compare it to the Manitoy one, which a lot of people previously said that this is like definitely does not look like a usual turtle, and he has too much muscle and too human-like. And this guy is even more so, although I don't think he is as bulky as the Manitoy's one. And I do like the Manitoy's skin texture and the airbrush shadow on the skin tone. It's very nice looking, right? This guy, on the other hand, is almost completely matte compared to the Manitoy's glossy finish. Adjust the camera a little. You can see the dry brush and wash here. There's shadow here, just I don't think is as nice looking as the Manitoy's one, but it's still good enough. The airbrush shadow here, right? I do notice something that's they overlooked, because the butterfly joint here are copy paste of each other, just reverse, right? But there's a scar that can line up at the right chest, but there's nothing here. Okay, not a huge deal. And you can notice that these two are, the base is green plastic. They painted this color, but they didn't paint the underneath, only this side, so it is a little bit noticeable, right? But again, not a huge deal. The overall paint job is pretty well done. Let's, you know what, take a look at the face. Pretty good, I think. And the detail paint on it is pretty nice. The belt is a same piece with the diaper, and same goes for the skirt armor. All right, it's glued at the side of the belt. I think it's pretty nice looking in terms of paint job, and it has sort of an asymmetry design to it. The the forearms is different, right? The shin is the same, just painted differently. Let's take a look at the back. This piece is very hard to put on once you take it off. Like, I just can't take it off, right? I'll mention it again during the accessory section. Let's take a look at the back. And the turtle shell is pretty flat and relatively small when you compare it to the Manitoy's one. The paint job is pretty good. You can see the airbrush shadow and the dry brush. Okay, like overall, I still think that this is a very nice looking figure. Probably not as good as the Manitoy's one, but it's close. All right, let's take a look at the articulation. So let's take a look at the turtle shell. There's two hinge. I don't know if you can see it. Yep, there's two hinge. I don't think it's removable, okay? It can go up and down, and that's it. No side to side and wiggle. The head can look up, okay. Look down, bury his chin, rotation, and tail. Butterfly joint is Amazing Yamaguchi design, pretty typical, right? Can go forward this much, go back. I don't think there's the reason I want to mention this is because I missed one articulation spot on my in my real whale work blank body, right? This is going this way, but there's also a ball joint here, so I don't think this guy has it. And combining with shoulder joint, yeah, he can cross arms without any real effort, so that's good. Once again, I made a Yamaguchi style shoulder, can raise about this much, and there's a ball here, so you can use this for 360 or use, oh, it's the same, you know how it goes. Okay. Angle bicep swivel. Look at how much angle that is. It's very angled. It's very reminiscent of the old Revotech. The way you use it is basically you want to adjust the position of the arms using the bicep swivel instead of using it like a traditional bicep swivel, okay? Double jointed elbow. Good range. Doesn't look bad. And there's a hinge at the forearms. Can only go up and down, cannot go side to side, so it's not a ball joint. And swivel. Now let's take a look at the diaphragm joint. Can crunch forward. Okay. Crunch back. Pretty good. And going to be gapping here. Not gonna. Yep, no problem. Side and rotation. It's pretty alright, but the way they designed the waist joint is questionable, to be honest, because there's very little forward with the waist joint and back and side. I think because the hip joint is not a typical Kyoto style hip joint, because Kyoto usually has a hollow piece and a reverse Y shape hip joint. This is not the, this is more like a traditional SHF hip joint, and they didn't leave enough room inside because the abdominal part is too much into the diaper piece, so there's very little room for the waist ball joint to move. So yeah, it's pretty disappointing considering that he only has this much ab crunch. Another thing is the giant belt. If they are truly learning from the Amazing Yamaguchi design, the belt should be able to unbuckle and go to the side, but right now it just hinders the articulation, as you can see here, right? It should be able to have a bit more range in the diaphragm, but they can't because of the big ass belt. Let's take a look at the hip joint. No drop down, okay. Can kick forward 90 degrees, but has to kick to the side, back, also 90 degrees. Don't have to kick to the side. Like, as you can see here, it's very typical SHF design, which why I don't think the SHF hip design is very good. Kick to the side is hindered by the skirt armor, and the skirt armor is also another thing. Like a lot of this design is sort of questionable because if it is on a Amazing Yamaguchi figure, they're going to use ball joint here, ball hinge here to connect to the skirt piece, but these are all glued. So I already seen people that posing him for a prolonged period of time and the glue gave out on this part. Okay, there are other parts that also have this similar problem. I'll going to mention it a bit later, but I don't think this is very good design, and they're not removable, so that's a bummer. The side swivel is a ball joint, so there are all sorts of play here. Okay, double jointed knee. Very good range, doesn't look bad from the front, so that's good. And the shin has Kyoto style shin joint, right? Go back and forth, and rotation. Ankle, this part connected into the shin is a straight peg, and into the feet is a ball joint. I can't go all the way back. Okay, forward. Oops. Okay. Very good rocker, as you can see. And you can also use this and the ankle rotation to adjust it, right? 360. And pretty good toe joint. There's two of them. So yeah, the overall articulation, I think they did put some thought into it, but they also showed that they're pretty new in terms of designing like complete action figure, right? Most of stuff they made before are mecha, and usually mecha is designed differently from a traditional action figure. And even though admitting Yamaguchi style articulation is a good start, they definitely lack some sort of experience in that, and you can really tell. But I think the overall result is decent. It's not perfect by any stretch of imagination, but it's not bad. And the joint feels amazing to play with. So again, that's pretty good. All right, let's take a look at his accessories. I want to use the wearwork body to explain why the waist joint design here is not very good, because the wearwork cut the abdominal section really high, right? They have this floating piece to cover the gap, but the belt can also act as a way to cover the gap, so they could go really aggressive and cut really high here, right? Right now they like almost reach here, so doesn't really have any range, and the ball peg is pretty big. And as you can see, wear work here, very good waist articulation. And this guy, if you're crunching forward, pretty much only the diaphragm works. The waist joint has pretty much zero range, so that's pretty disappointing. Okay, accessory is where this figure really shines as well. First, let's take a look at the hand. He comes with 7 pair of hand, including a pair of gripping hand that's already on him. There's 2 pair of gripping hand, okay? One is a straight gripping hand, another is like these 2 are angle gripping hand for slashing, okay? Head, he comes with a gritty head. I think this is the head that they mentioned that having some paint job problem with the teeth, lack of the brown wash. I think I'm going to contact them for after sale. Okay, and this is the head. I think it's a time limited exclusive bonus. I love this head, it looks very sinister. And the bandana, there's one that's already on him and another flow to the back one. The way the bandana connected is a little bit if you don't connect it correctly, it tends to fall out pretty easy. Like, as far as I can tell, it is supposed to connect it this way, and once you rotate it, it's kind of easy to fall off, as you can see here. So this is the position that the bandana is gonna go. Same go for the flowy one. Okay, let's take a look at the kunai. We got 3 of them. Okay, they are exactly the same, pretty well painted. Okay, and they're very pointy, so if you're not careful, it's gonna stab you. And you can store them here. All right, and short katana. The paint on the blade is a little bit spotty. And it is not soft, so don't worry about it drooping. It is once again supposed to be stored here, but the plastic is very, very hard. So you might have to worry about paint chip, and also it is glued in the belt. I also have seen problem that some people already have, that the glue gave out, especially considering that these two strap, this strap is pretty hard, so maybe consider heating it up. I'm probably not going to use it because it hinders articulation. Okay, back. Katana, you got 2 of them. The scabbard is pretty nice looking. Okay, you can see the wash on it, and the katana itself, again, has a little bit give to it, but it's not soft. The paint job is pretty nicely done. Okay, and a single slash effect. They should definitely give 2. There we go. The strap and the shoulder pad. It is the same like shell piece here as this one, but they're very, very hard to install. Like, so far I cannot figure out a way to install them correctly. I'll put a video here that Heatboys sent me about how to install the shell piece, but I still have no luck.
先把这2条柱子往里面按一下，看上去比较直了，就可以开始安装背带。先插进好一个孔，再插另一个孔。安装好的效果。
Okay, let's show you how to put this on. Put it this way and put it up. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so this is after I put the strap on. Remember to move the shelf up. Okay, but I still can't really put the shelf into the back shelf, right? Not a huge deal because it will keep it in this position, but this is definitely something that should be designed better. And the katana's scabbard, you're supposed to insert it this way. Okay, there's also problem with the glue here and here. will just give out and it will fall off. I already have the problem, okay? So I have to re-glue it here and here, so be careful. All right. Next up is a slice of pizza. It is painted okay. Probably should have a brown wash on it. And a turtle foam. This is actually pretty great. Has very good attention to detail. I really love it. You can even see April O'Neil inside. It's pretty great. And the antenna, I think this is antenna, right? Yeah, this is pretty good. And a grappling hook and a real rope. Unfortunately, it's not wired, so it's not very useful. It is pretty pointy though. Okay, that's all the normal edition's accessories. Let's take a look at the deluxe edition. First, you got a pair of relaxed hand. I don't know why they want to keep a pair of hand in the deluxe edition, but whatever. A yowling head. I think the teeth definitely deserve a brown wash. Okay. And a scarf. Very nicely painted. And there's joint here. Let me put on him. Give me a second. Okay, so this is what it looked like when it's on hand. I know some people are probably not gonna like it because it is perpetually wind swipe, but I like it because you have the left shoulder pad hiding the left shoulder joint, and you have this hiding the right shoulder joint to give it a better silhouette. Okay, and a hat, pretty nicely detailed. And as you can see, there's a magnet. It is, I think it's okay. Right? It's okay, but if you touch it, it still moves relatively easily because the hat is actually pretty heavy. Okay, and a giant Final Fantasy / Berserk-esque sword. Very cool looking. Nice wash on the handle. And let him grab it. If you worry about the strength of his joint, worry not, because the joint is very, oops. Like, he can hold it pretty nicely. Of course, if you shake it, it's still gonna move, but yeah, if you just stand there, the joint can hold it pretty firmly. It would be nice that they give it a giant slash effect, right? Wouldn't that be cool? There's also a skater board. The wheels are functional. Okay, the details are pretty cool. Afterburner effect. The front light is movable. Unfortunately, there's no LED here. And 2 booster effect. Oops. 1, 2, and there's magnet inside, and there's magnet in his feet. So see, pretty cool. Lastly, he comes with a die-cast stand, Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo, and of course can interact with the magnet in his feet, but unfortunately it is still a bit too heavy. Okay, these two pieces are, you can use it to connect it to other stand in the same line, and the clamp, the arm is very strong. Okay, it's wired, and the screw here is a little bit loose, so you might want to tighten it up. Can rotate, hinge, and the clamp. All right, you can put it here. All right, so yeah, even though the price tag is pretty high, he comes with a lot of accessories, especially with the deluxe edition. So I think even though he is pretty expensive, the value proposition is pretty good. All right, let's take a look at the size comparison with CCS and Fisher, Sexy Eyes Manticora, and Lin Jihun Leonardo. And as you can see, he is really big. Let's measure it. He's over 20 centimeters, about 21 centimeters. So yeah, there's no doubt about how tall he is. He's definitely 1/9 scale. With Marvel Legend movie Wolverine, Marvel Solo Superman, and Amazing Yamaguchi Arkham Knight Nightwing. With Meditoy's Oni Warriors, in our Arkham Origin Battle Damage Batman, and McFarlane Toys Silver Age Superman. So I think this figure is, it does have its fair share of problems, right? None of them are major, but the minor inconvenience and the annoyance can eventually culminate into a bigger annoyance. For example, the glue just keep giving out all over the figure that you have to re-glue it, or the, I think, badly designed the waist joint area, or the fact that you just don't like a overly humanoid turtle design. It is very understandable, by the way. But I still think that this is a well-painted, well-sculpted, jam-packed with accessories, and a relatively well-designed action figure. And I think this is probably the most articulated turtle figure out there. So if you really want a super articulated, well, it's not super articulated, a turtle with good articulation, this is probably your best bet right now. And that still leaves two questions, right? The first is gonna be the price. It is still a fairly expensive figure, so if you don't want to pay that money for it, understandable. The second is probably the most important for the Western collector, is the scale. It's 1/9, 20 centimeters. It is not very common at all, and probably not gonna scale with pretty much all the Western majority, well, pretty much all the East and Western mainstream line at all. So yeah, you really have to put it into a separate shelf, or just like me, I don't really care about scale. Okay, I value quality over scale anytime, any day of the week. So yeah, I don't really care about that, which is why I pick up the Inart one, because you know the quality is good. I don't care about scale. But anyway, and I actually got the chance to talk to the Heatboys people during 2024's Tokyo Comic Con, and I did bring out the question about why they didn't make this into a 112, 110, 7/6-inch line, and they basically said, well, this is the line they want to make these figures in, like they prefer this scale. So I don't know if that's just PR talk or that's genuine, but you know, it is what it is. And anyway, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.